So we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 20, Conversations between Maitreya and Vidura, text number 6. You have? Okay. Tanahirtaya Bhadramte Kirtanyodara Karmana Rasagya Konu Tripyeta Harililamritam Piban Tanahirtaya Bhadramte Kirtanyodara Karmana Rasagya Konu Tripyeta Harililamritam Piban.
Kirtanya Bhadramte
Kirtaya Bhadramte
Kirtanyodara Karmana
Kirtanyodara Karmana
Rasagya Konu Tripyeta
Rasagya Konu Tripyeta
Harililamritam Piban
Harililamritam Piban.
Dana Kirtaya Bhadramte
Dana Kirtaya Bhadramte Kirtanyodara Karmana Rasagya Konu Tripyeta Harililamritam Piban. Dana Kirtaya Bhadramte Kirtanyodara Karmana Rasagya Konu Tripyeta Harililamritam Piban. Okay. Taha those talks, Naha, to us, Kirtaya, narrate, Bhadram, Te, may all good come unto you. Kirtanya should be chanted. Udara, liberal. Karmana, activities. Rasagya, a devotee who can appreciate mellow tastes. Kaha, who? No, indeed. Tripyeta, would feel satisfied. Harilila Amritam, the nectar of the pastimes of the Lord. Piban, drinking. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. O Sutta Goswami, all good fortune to you. Please narrate the activities of the Lord, which are all magnanimous and worth glorifying. What sort of devotee can be satiated by hearing the nectarian pastimes of the Lord? Purport. The narration of the pastimes of the Lord, which are always enacted on the transcendental platform, should be received with all respect by devotees. Those who are actually on the transcendental platform are never satiated by hearing the continuous narration of the pastimes of the Lord. For example, if any self-realized soul reads from Bhagavad Gita, he will never feel satiated. The narrations of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam may be read thousands and thousands of times, and still, without fail, new aspects of the subject matter will be relished by the devotee. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Shimate Praladananda Swamiti Namine. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Shimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namine. Namaste Sarasvate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyate Adeshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to say something about Srimad Bhagavatam. It is said that this is the most important part of the day for a devotee. There's this, His Holiness Niranjana Maharaj has this book, it's called Taking Care of Krishna's Devotees. Maybe you heard of it, it's really nice. And one of the things he says there is that devotee association means Srimad Bhagavatam class. The devotee association doesn't mean taking prasadam. Of course, that's also included, but the most important part of the devotee association is Srimad Bhagavatam class. And he also states a fact that initially there's this verse 1, 2, 18, very famous. And initially Srila Prabhupada translated by regularly hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. And then, in the further translations, he stated by attendance in Srimad Bhagavatam class. It's very, very interesting, like the current translation says, by regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental song, is established as an irrevocable fact. So it's interesting. Srila Prabhupada felt, okay, let's change it, let's emphasize so much. So that's why Srimad Bhagavatam class is so important. It's the basis of the whole morning program is so important. Here in the text we have somehow a rhetorical question. Rhetorical question means that you have a question, but the answer is inside. It's already suggested. Like, who will not want to hear about Krishna? Oh my God! And there's a butcher. There's some verses like this, sometimes, and there's also another verse. There's many similar verses in Srimad Bhagavatam about this topic. Who will not want to hear about Krishna? And the logical answer is that a pure devotee will always want to hear about Krishna. And that it's stated here, he's never satiated. He's not like, okay, we have Bhagavatam class, make it fast, say something fast, and then let's have prasadam. Prasadam ki jai. And Bhagavatam class is like, or usually there's I think this first Janmashtami they had with Srila Prabhupada. They had this, and Srila Prabhupada started reading from Krishna book, on and on, and then at some point he looked at the devotee, said, "Okay, time for prasadam." For Prabhupada could go on, forever, like reading from Krishna book. For him, it was like just nectar, But devotees were like, So pure devotees, they can speak for hours, It's Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj. He would not give half an hour classes. As far as I understood, he gave like few hours classes. And very philosophical. So this is the level of the pure devotee. They are very eager. And most of the people are not so eager. You go out, you do Harinam, Sankirtan. Harinam, they are eager, they look, wow, there's some nice music. I have no idea it's about Krishna, but some nice music. Yeah, okay, that's good. But if you want to distribute books to them, not everyone is eager. And even if they are eager, you make them eager by something else. Usually when we distribute books, we don't tell them this is books about Krishna. Do you want books about Krishna? Yes. Oh, I was waiting for Krishna. Oh, right, finally. No, we tell them these books on yoga and meditation help you get free from stress, find inner happiness, whatever, something they can appreciate. And they usually don't take the books because they are about Krishna or because they are spiritual. Sometimes many times they just take the books because they like you. So if you're nice to them, you tell them you worship them, you tell them how nice people they are, then they have to give you a benediction. You know? I remember there was we were in some small city in Slovenia. I like small cities for some reason. People are nicer, like more peaceful, more no running, no. And there was this lady, well dressed, like really, you can see she spent some effort to get dressed, like she was well dressed, coming from from Spar towards her car, and he's looking at we were with the devotees there, and she's looking at us, like, yuck, this. They're gonna ask me something. They ask me to take some books. And she starts and she's already making this. And I'm like, oh, miss, you really have the style. And she goes like 1 meter, 2 meters, and then she stops. She's like, okay, I have to give you a benediction. So I said, oh, okay. So she gave a donation and she got a book. So people don't really take the books because they want to hear about Krishna. They take the books because they like you. You're nice to them, you tell them how nice they are, how nice family they have, you pet their dog. I don't know, I don't like dogs, so I cannot do that. You tell them, you ask them what's the name of their child, and then they will take some books because they like you. You are a nice person, so they want to associate with. So, but the point is that most of the people, they don't really want to hear about Krishna. And devotees, we are devotees, and sometimes we're eager, sometimes, at least me, I'm not so eager. Especially, there's this idea among the devotees that, okay, Bhagavatam, there's some lila, it's nice. But Bhagavad Gita is so boring, We are not this body, devotees are complaining, yeah, Prabhu, again we'll go to the class, and again they will tell us, we are not this body. We heard this before, we know we are not this body. We don't know, but because if we would know, we would act differently. We know. So, as aspiring devotees, we might be like this, in this state. Yeah, sometimes we feel like hearing about Krishna, and sometimes not so much. There is this story. His Holiness Praladananda Maharaj tells this story. They were going in Sankirtan, and they had this. They met this person, and he was probably you heard it before, and this person said they wanted to give him a book. I said, no, I cannot read, I cannot focus, I cannot sleep. It's horrible, so because I cannot sleep, I'm always tired. I cannot focus to read a book. And devotees said, no problem. We have a temple. We have these books. Every morning, when as soon as someone starts reading from these books, all the devotees fall asleep. So no problem. So this person got, okay, this sounds like a good book. So he got the book, gave a donation, and eventually they saw him in the airport. He was sleeping with the book on his chest. True story. So this works. sometimes even even for us. Okay, let's get it from this angle. So we don't feel. Sometimes we don't feel like hearing about Krishna. Like I don't feel like why always Krishna? Like, of course we're devotees, we cannot say this, but so what's the solution? And there is this famous verse from Nectar of Instruction, 7th verse, which says gives the whole explanation of why this happens. He says, first part says, the holy name, character, pastimes, and activities of Krishna are all transcendentally sweet like sugar candy. So the pure devotees are, because talking about Krishna is sweet. And the pure devotees, they are never satiated because they feel this. They're like, oh, yeah. They experience this. Oh, it's sweet. And why sometimes we don't feel it? It says, although the tongue of one afflicted by the jaundice of avidya cannot taste anything sweet. He says, okay, because our tongue, because we are afflicted by avidya, we cannot taste it sweet. It's sweet, but we don't taste it sweet. So, what's the solution? So the next part of the verse says, it is wonderful that simply by carefully chanting these sweet names every day, a natural relish awakens within his tongue, and the disease is gradually destroyed at the root. So that's the very important understanding. I mean, you know this. I'm just, many new devotees come to Krishna consciousness, and they're like, you have these devotees, they are in the mood of I feel. You have these people, probably you have everywhere, they are everywhere. Like, I feel. I will chant Hare Krishna when I feel. Today I feel, I will chant some rounds. Tomorrow, I don't feel. So, I mean, if I don't feel, what can I do? I don't feel. So, there's the natural tendency, how people work. And actually, we are meant to work in a different way. Because if you want to have some taste, sometimes I tell people, okay, they say something like, okay, I will chant Hare Krishna when I have taste for chanting. I said, no, Prabhu, okay, let's get it straight, like there's Shraddha, there's Sadhu Sangha, there's Bhajana Kriya, you start chanting, there's Anartha Nivriti, you clean your anarthas, there's Nishtha, which is not the Croatian Nishtha. Many times everyone in Croatia is on the Nishtha platform. You go in Sankirtan, everyone is Nishtha. Okay. All right. which means something like get lost. In Slovenian is hvala. This first word I learned in Slovenian, everyone was saying hvala. Okay. Which means, yeah, anyway. And then after Nishtha, there's Ruchi. So taste comes after Nishtha. First Nishtha and then Ruchi. Of course, I mean, there's Lord Chaitanya is very merciful and the process is very merciful. So you always get some taste. But the real taste comes after you're stable in your devotional service, then it comes taste.
I'm going from Prema back.
Yeah. Anyway, this new devotees is usually on the Prema platform. It's thinking how to transform Baba into Prema or something like this, It's called Utsahamai. Anyway, so the point is that solution is that you do it and then you feel. We have special offer. And that's the whole sadhana bhakti. Everything that we do is that you do it now, you do what you have to do, and then you feel. At some point you will feel, no problem. It will. So that's the whole point. We have in Ljubljana this sadhana campaign. You have to, you have a checklist, and you have to report every day. Mangalarti, this part of the morning program. Every part you have to check, and you get points. And in Ishtagoshti they even show the charts. Oh, this devotee, this devotee, this devotee. Ooh. And even it's if you don't hear the conch shell, then you're not there for Mangalarti. Like you're for Kirtan. Mangalarti and then Kirtan, which comes with Mangalarti. If you don't hear the conch shell, you're Hare Krishna. You missed it today. So it's we started this. Of course, I mean we usually go for programs, but you don't realize how much the mind will trick you. Like, Of course, there's also excuses, like valid excuses. If you're on the altar or if you're cooking, it's okay that you can check that. Okay, I was in kitchen. All right, no problem. So and then you see you have this sadhana campaign. Everyone coming for morning program. Okay, bam, 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 bam. And then you see, sometimes the kirtan is more ecstatic, like you have kirtan there, Maharaj is jumping. Like, okay, this is also part of sadhana. Yeah, you have to jump. Okay, Jai. Jai, jump. When he starts jumping, I have to jump. This is my my duty. I don't feel like it, but I have to do it. And if after you do it for some time, you say, wow, this is fun. Wow, it works. So sometimes devotees have this idea, well, let's try this, and there's this saying that when everything fails, just try following the process. Just do it as it is, and then you see, okay, it's nice. This process is really nice. You feel some accident. There's I forgot about. There was this. I think Brahmananda Prabhu was going to Srila Prabhupada and telling him that he doesn't offer obeisances. He will offer obeisances when he feels like. So Prabhupada gave him exactly the same answer. Prabhupada says, first you offer obeisances and then you will feel. No problem. So the whole process for the level of where we usually are is that you do what you have to do. You feel like, you don't feel like, it doesn't matter. You do it and then you feel. Then you'll feel, oh, okay, this works. It's nice. And then, of course, if you have good sadhana, then you are inspired to also give this to others. If you don't have sadhana, then why would it doesn't work for you? You have this morose face, oh, please take a book. It will be good for you. Who will take a book, So you have to have strong sadhana, and then you're naturally inclined. Oh, okay. What else can I do? Oh, there's also one part of sadhana, which means giving Krishna consciousness to others. In his book Shuddha Bhakti Chintamani, Srila Shivara Maharaj says that preaching is part of sadhana. As a side dish, you have this Alcoholic Anonymous. I met one of them in Ljubljana, and they have this process how to get people out from alcohol. And one of the realizations they have is that if you don't preach, they're preaching, they're somehow Christian. They have some theistic idea. that you pray to God to help you with your problems. But the realization is that if you don't preach, then you'll start drinking again. So that, of course, that applies in that process. But you can see also in our context, if you don't preach, then you're like, oh. So Vaisheshika Prabhu also calls Sankirtan high-level sadhana. This is part of sadhana. So it's very important for devotees to, as much as possible, preach. Because if you go out and preach, then the reciprocation is very fast. Like we had this monthly Sankirtan festival, we had it once, and I showed pictures to Maharaj, and I told him, the devotees were happy, like we just went to put all the devotees who wanted to go in some cars. We went to some small cities, and they stayed there for 3 hours, and they distributed some books. And then when they come back, happy, everyone happy, happy face. And Maharaj said that if you go for Sankirtan, the reciprocation is almost automatic. That's the word he used. It's almost automatic. You just have to go. And this is such a it's such a wonderful. Srila Prabhupada is amazing. When he gave this tool of Sankirtan. Like we're not so qualified to preach, but we can distribute the books. And by doing this, we're acting on that platform, like we're distributing Srila Prabhupada's books. We're helping Srila Prabhupada in his preaching. And the reciprocation is like almost automatic. And if you do this, that it forces you to, it's cleansing the heart very fast. And it forces you many things, like to be tolerant. Every day, you go for Sankirtan or Harinam or something, and you go to some city. In Slovenia, we have a list. I have a list of cities, and we go everywhere. And then you go to some city. If it's more than 3,000 people, we have been there, except 2 or 3, which are a bit far from Ljubljana. And you go there, and you're like, who had this crazy idea to come here? There's no reason to come there, like there's maybe no people, maybe, people are not so nice. So there's absolutely no material reasons to go there. You're like, okay, we came all the way to here, so let's try anyway. So then you try, and you go for Sankirtan. You'll have to learn how to pray, because you go like, hello, get lost. Hello, get lost. In Slovenia, people are more polite. So they just tell you hvala, which means like thank you or something. And then, hello. And then you start praying. You have to start praying. Okay, oh good, I cannot do anything. Krishna, maybe you can help. And then you start praying. You pray and pray. And then Krishna sends some people. It's like, wow, this person actually took a book. And they also gave a donation. Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wow. At the end of the day, Maharati. Yesterday we distributed 50 books. Oh my God, 100. Amazing. And the next day, like, you cannot have a big false ego. I was talking with Nitai Doya Prabhu, and he told me that Vaisheshika Prabhu told him that there's no senior Sankirtan devotee. There's no such thing as senior Sankirtan devotee. You go for Sankirtan, you're a Maharati, you distribute whatever you can distribute. And then the next day, they send you in some strange place, and you start from, how many books have you distributed so far, Prabhu? 0. I have to pray again, So, And yeah, the point is that if you go for Sankirtan, you can feel some reciprocation. It's very fast. Maybe you can feel it also in other services, but it's easier, if you do it properly and in a prayerful mood, you can feel very fast some reciprocation. And you can somehow, we had this Padayatra, and last 2 days we had the target to distribute 500 Gitas, and last 2 days we had to distribute 75 more or something. And the day before the last, we had Ljubljana. Of course, we had some sponsored Gitas, and we were not trying to get something, not double BBT. And we were going to Ljubljana. Ljubljana is all the devotees in Slovenia know that this Ljubljana is yuck. You don't want to go to Ljubljana to distribute books. And the week before, we also had Padayatra in Ljubljana because we didn't want to travel so much, so we put it every week, 1 day. And then the week before, we did 15 Bhagavad Gita, which is good, And then we had to do 75 left, and we said, yeah, we do like 20 in Ljubljana, and last day in Porto Rosso, something. But somehow after 3 weeks of Ljubljana, when we started the temple, I feel, wow, there's something different. The Harinam had different mood. First you have Harinam, you get purified, it's Anartha and everything. And then some ecstasy, you're like, wow, this... Instantly, people, you just say hi to people. You want a book? Yeah, okay. Please, how much? And then you feel this. We distributed 50-something books, and the next day in Porto Rosso, 60-something. And you're like. So it's obvious that Krishna must be God. So the point is that there's instant reciprocation in Sankirtan. So that's why it's important for devotees to also have this experience of Sankirtan. Usually, I talk to many Sankirtan devotees, we usually don't feel like going for Sankirtan. It's like, oh my God, again Sankirtan, oh, these crazy people, oh, no. But if you do it, you will feel instant reciprocation. I'll just tell you one more story. I was in Romania somewhere, and I went for Sankirtan, and it was bad. I went to universities, and I distributed one book in 1 hour or something, like in Romania, in the student area, I was like flying, And then they were like just... And then all of a sudden I was in ecstasy. I felt some reciprocation, because this reciprocation doesn't depend on how many books you distribute. It depends on your effort. So I was like, in ecstasy, wow, it's nice. This Sankirtan is nice. Why is nice? It's cold, it's this. No, it's very nice. So it's a wonderful opportunity. So the whole point of this, of what I wanted to say is that there's important to have this mood, that to be in this sadhana bhakti mood, which means I don't feel, but I will still do it. So this includes also sadhana. Do I feel like waking up for the morning program? I don't know about you, I don't feel. Do I feel like coming for all the programs? No, this program is boring, this program is boring. No, I come. Do I feel like going for Sankirtan? No, I don't feel. Sometimes I feel, but most of the times I don't feel. But the special offer is like when you meet people on the street, they say, I have no time. And you say, no problem, you take the book now and you read it later. So Krishna consciousness in this stage of sadhana bhakti is also like that. It's you do what you should do now, and you will feel later. So, yeah. Okay, I'll stop here. someone wants to add something or ask something or...
Can I ask a question? No, thank you very much. There's so many things to comment, but can you tell me, you said that avidya is destroyed by attentive chanting. You were reading this verse.
Yeah.
About avidya is destroyed by attentive chanting. So what would we say? What is destroying of avidya is exactly? Is it magical feeling that overwhelms us? Is it like some light hits us on the head? When this avidya is destroyed, if you know me.
Well, I don't know exactly what was the process. This verse is corresponding to these different levels to a few levels of our process: bhajana, kriya, anartha, nivritti, nishta. So usually you have to nishta, probably also ruchi. So the whole point is that we have anarthas, and that they are blocking us from actually feeling, actually connecting with Krishna, actually chanting properly. So we have to go through this anartha nivritti and get to nishta. And in nishta, we still have this. We still have anarthas, but they are not bothering us anymore. In nishta, you're like, you look at a nice lady. Do you feel attracted? Yes. There's this story with Yudhishthir Maharaj. There's Yudhishthir Maharaj and Krishna, and they are talking, and Yudhishthir Maharaj never told a lie. And Queen Kunti had this benediction that she will be always young. So Queen Kunti was very attractive. And Krishna was like bugging Yudhishthir Maharaj. So, how your mother, is she attractive? Yes, Krishna, she's attractive. And do you sometimes feel attracted to her? Like, yeah, sometimes I feel attracted to her. And what do you do when you feel attracted? I don't do anything. So it's important to get to this stage of nishta where material things are attractive, but Krishna is more attractive. And you still, like, you can, we had this Padayatra deities, and we had some Matajis in the temple, and I was looking, oh, this Mataji is attractive. Yes, she's attractive, but this Nitai Gora Nataraj, they are more attractive. Mm-hmm. So that's, yeah. I'm sorry, I don't have a technical question. I have to.
Is it possible that I was contemplating about this avidya, that is ignorance. Avidya is ignorance of reality, of what is the proper conduct, what is the proper habit. So it's like not knowing or not knowing what to do, or not knowing why to do it. So maybe sometimes you know you shouldn't do it, but you have a misconception like, it's not important or something. So is it possible that this avidya is being destroyed by chanting, that we are actually getting the first proper knowledge of understanding how we should act, what we should do, what to be done, what not to be done, and the second thing that can be destroying our avidya is our misconceptions, why to follow or not, why not to follow, or why to do something. What is the reason behind it? Is it possible that this is this?
Yeah, I mean, we do need theoretical knowledge, but we need realized knowledge also. Mm-hmm. So theoretical knowledge is good enough, but many people they know they shouldn't drink alcohol, but they still do it. So there's many things, but you need also realized knowledge, and you need to have a clear direction. Like why don't we do our duty? Krishna always, Arjuna asks also, Krishna because of Rahu. It's Rahu's fault. So, no, Kama Esha, Krodha Esha, Rajoguna, Samudbhava, Mahashano, Mahapava, Vidyanam, Iha, Vairinam. So yeah, it's lust. So I mean, you might know, but unless you actually have a conscious decision to act on this knowledge, it's not gonna change much. No. I don't know. Okay, I guess it's 8:30, so we stop here. Thank you so much for tolerating. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.